Hey guys, welcome back to another upSchool video. Today our lesson is CBSE Class 7 Science Chapter 3 Fiber to Fabric. This is a Lesson 1 video and stay tuned for more. Don't forget to subscribe and yeah, once again, hope you enjoy. So first let's just have a quick introduction. Clothes are made of fabric. Fabric is made of yarn. Yarn is made of fiber. What is fiber? Our chapter is called Fiber to Fabric, but what is fiber? Well, fiber isn't the fiber that you find in food. Fiber is actually a thin thread-like filament that you use to make clothes. What do I mean by this? Well, first let's just learn about the types of fiber. So there are two types of fiber, synthetic fiber and natural fiber. The most common fiber, which the clothes you're wearing is most likely made from synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers are made of chemicals. Types of synthetic fibers are polyester, fabric. And another type of fiber is natural fiber. Types of natural fiber is plants and animals. Hence its name, natural fibers are made of things that Mother Nature has given to us. So basically fiber, whether it's synthetic or not, we use this fiber to make yarn. And then you use this yarn to make fabric. And then you use this fabric to make the clothes. So we're gonna focus on natural fibers today and how we can turn wool fiber, wool is an animal fiber, how we can turn this wool fiber into woolen fabric. And we use this woolen fabric to make the woolen clothes that you use in the winter. So how can we turn wool fiber into wool fabric? That's what we're going to learn in this lesson 1. This is 3.1 of CBSE Class 7 Science Chapter 3. And yeah, let's begin. So what exactly is wool fiber? Well, yes, wool fiber is from animals, but what animals? Wool fiber is from the fleece or the fur of sheep, alpaca, goat, camel, and etc. Basically, all animals that yield wool, we use this fleece, the fur that contains these wool fibers, to make the fabric. So, as you can see here, the fur of the sheep we have right here, the fur or the fleece is made of wool fibers. We obviously cut this fur out from the sheep, as the shepherd is doing here. Once we collect this wool fiber, as you can see here, we actually finish one of the steps of turning wool fiber into woolen clothes. First, it's shearing. Shearing is basically cutting off all the fleece from the sheep, so now you have the wool fibers out from the sheep. But now that we have this wool fiber, how do we turn it to the wool fabric or the woolen clothes? Well, once we have this wool, the wool that you get from a sheep is obviously full of dirt and other stuff. So we obviously need to make this wool fiber clean. So that's when the shepherd takes these wool fibers to a factory, and the factory starts to clean all this. They start to clean the fleece, or in other words, they begin the step of scouring. Scouring is the second step of turning wool fibers into woolen fabric. After cutting out all the fleece from the sheep, we wash the fleece. That's called scouring. So now that we have fleece that is nice and clean, what's next? So, in our clean wool fiber, there's obviously clumps of wool, because all of the wool can't be perfect. There's clumps of wool. These clumps of wool are called burrs. So what do we do with these burrs? Well, we obviously remove the burrs. And we also remove some other stuff. This step is called sorting. Sorting is the process of sorting the wool based on texture and color. In this process, we also separate burrs. So basically, once we have this clean wool fibers, we just start to take out some bad stuff and we separate it based on like the different colors and the different textures. So first is shearing, then scouring, and then we start to sort the wool fibers. So now how do we turn these wool fibers into our goal, the woolen fabric? Well, obviously your clothes have different colors. How do they get different colors? Well, these woolen fibers are obviously put in dye. Well, these woolen fibers are dyed in different colors. This process is called dyeing. Basically, you just take all these wool fibers and you make them a different color. So after making these wool fibers in a different color, which this step is called dyeing, the next process, or the next step of turning wool fiber into woolen fabric is straightening. Obviously, the woolen fibers are kind of in clumps, but they need to be straight. So a factory kind of straightens this wool so it's sort of in this thread shape. So the next step would be to turn these straightened wool fibers into yarn, and then people would buy the yarn and make it into fabric. But let's skip this step. Once you have these straightened wool fibers, most companies actually just start to weave the straightened wool fiber into fabric. This step is called weaving. So after straightening, the next process is weaving. So after weaving, well, you're done. You start off by taking the fleece that has the wool fiber from the sheep, and once we have these wool fibers, we wash the wool fiber because we don't want it to be dirty. Once we wash these wool fibers, we sort them based on color, texture, and we also remove the bad stuff such as the burrs. After we sort it out, we turn these wool fibers into a different color. That's called dyeing. Once we turn into a different color, we straighten these wool fibers, and once we straighten them, we start to weave these wool fibers into fabric. And once we create this fabric, factories begin to sell this fabric to different companies who make these fabrics into their clothes and their merchandise. So that's it. That's how you turn these wool fibers to woolen fabric. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is basically 3.1 of CBSE Class 7 Science Chapter 3. Stay tuned for Lesson 2, where I'll be explaining about silk. Silk is basically another animal fiber. Silk is from silkworms, and I'm going to be talking about how we can get from silk fibers to silk clothes. That's about it. Once again, hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned. And learning doesn't stop. Whether there's a pandemic, whether your school has been closed, learning doesn't stop. And that's what upSchool is here for. Share this video to your friends and stay tuned for more. Once again, subscribe, comment, like, share this video. And that'd be about it. This is upSchool signing off. Greatness starts here.